Hello, it's Goober Troy here. The official ranked season has kicked off, and I have a few matches I would like to showcase because I think that they're pretty exciting. Both matches today are from a gold to platinum rating, and I'm on the NA East server, so with that out of the way, I hope you enjoy. Alright, so starting this game off, we have a Sorceress, Artillerist, and Paladin. Seeing that type of comp is a little scary because, well, the Paladin can kind of provide enough peel for his team to allow the Sorc and Artillerist to get catches. So because of that, I want to tend to play a little bit more up front and interrupt the Artillerist whenever he's using his Gatling gun, or force the Sorceress to get knocked down whenever she gets her combos rolling. And if any of my team gets caught by the Artillerist combo, I will just try to provide support with Nalajia's energy just to provide some damage reduction. So let's get started. So the first thing I like to do at the start of these games is just run up because of how the camera works. I get a good line of sight of everyone. And I'm just gonna start auto attacking to avoid the Gatling gun here. If you don't know already, you can avoid getting stagger locked by an Artillerist if you're just attacking during his combo. I get caught out here because of the Sorceress, and luckily I had the gun or the Paladin damage reduction, which is pretty good. So there's no roll on the Sorc, and because of that, I am just trying to chase her down. Let me rewind that a little bit here. Yeah, we have both of these Artillerist and Sorc knocked down. So my first instinct is just to chase a Sorceress because she is squishier, and I know I can kind of get around her like tools to just disengage, with whether that be the freezing aura thing that she puts on the ground or anything like that. So I get a knockdown here, but there's so much stuff on the ground that I don't notice that the Paladin, partially because of the UI, and my Paladin using his awakening, and also the Artillerist using his awakening, there's just so much on the ground I don't notice that this is going on. And so I'm charging up my Surge Cannon, but I get interrupted almost immediately. So we get very little damage, and we also force the Sorceress ultimate, which is perfect. So they're down 2 awakening skills here. Our Sorc ulted here, not really the best, just because it was into a lot of shields. So yeah, not quite it, but I guess she did peel a little bit for us. So I'm kind of getting the business here, and I see that the Sorc is getting comboed. I was going to try to provide a little bit extra damage and with the Gunlancer shot, but I got interrupted, unfortunately. And here I see that the Artillerist is charging up his laser, so I'm just going to kite that out. And when that's down, the Artillerist isn't really a threat anymore. Just trying to peel off the Paladin from our Sorceress here, and she gets a nice combo here. And I fuck up my Surge Cannon accidentally, and yeah, just doing that right there is what Gunlancer is best at against Artillerist. You see that the Artillerist is going to start his combo, his Gatling gun. My Paladin is within firing range too, and I'm just going to charge in, get right up in his face because he's stationary during this and he can't cancel it. And I'm just going to charge in and just bash him. Interrupted, and I get a free knockdown. So at this point, I'm just trying to keep both of my teammates in my line of sight and just provide any support when needed. I have Nalajia's energy ready, and I get a nice knockdown here. And I bait out the Artillerist stun, but I unfortunately get knocked down by the crystal bomb thing. I don't remember what it's called. And I'm just trying to survive at this point. Luckily, I bait out the I forget what that move is called from the Sorc. And I have very little life here, but I know that the Artillerist isn't going to be able to kill me from this range. Paladin might be able to if he has his I think it's called Sword of Judgment, the big energy sword. So I'm able to just throw up my shield and charge up my Charge Stinger into my my Sorceress's combo because he has their Sorceress stagger locked. So I'm able to get this charge off, and luckily I don't get interrupted by the Paladin. The Sorceress dodges it, but I still get some value out of it by hitting the Paladin. So then at this point, I'm just trying to kite it out and just do as much damage as I can, force any kind of knockdowns, and I go down. All right, so now I'm back up, and I'm going to try and peel for my Paladin. I see there's just a lot of stuff on the ground, so I throw out a counter spear and I get a nice paralyze on the paladin, I think. Unfortunately, right here, I'm stuck, and I just take the full laser beam of the artillerist, which is fine because we had our paladin here who was even lower health, and I was full health in the Ruffians, so the amount of damage I took, considering the severity of that skill, was pretty negligible. So now I'm just trying to be a nuisance here and just stick to their DPS so that they can't really do anything or get anything going. We forced the knockdown on both artillerist and the sorceress, and neither of them, or both are pretty susceptible right now. Unfortunately, our sorceress gets knocked out of her combo, which causes both to live, both the artillerist and Sork. So here I'm just peeling for our paladin, forcing all the knockdowns as I can, just trying to be in the center of everything. And I throw out my awakening here because I specifically didn't want to get knocked down. I didn't have anything to get through this knockdown, and I know that they're kind of low, so I think I would have guaranteed a kill on the artillerist here. Luckily, the sorceress walks into it, and I clip her with the edge of it, getting a double kill immediately. And this paladin does not have roll, so I know that I can get a full surge cannon off, which nets me a triple kill. And at this point in the game, with just a minute left, I don't think we have any more ultimates, but we're up 1-5. We just have a massive lead. They don't have any awakening skills either. So this game is actually pretty much over at this point. So I'm just going to keep providing as much support as I can. Our paladin goes down, but that means it's time for us to get out of here. Sorceress gets out pretty unscathed. I'm just knocking everything down. This was actually a bad move by my part. Our sorceress has a really nice catch here with her little like frost orb, and I missed it. I didn't see. I for whatever reason I thought that was the opposing frost orb, the opposing sorceress frost orb. So I used my gunlance shot to knock both of them down, which was a bad move because I interrupted my sorceress's combo. So at this point, we get more knockdowns, just literally just standing in the middle of everything and just crowd controlling as much as I can. So I'm going to split up a little bit, try to draw some attention from my team, specifically my sorceress. My paladin comes over to support me, which I don't think is the right decision. I can handle myself against this paladin here, but yeah, maybe not the best choice on his part. And yeah, we're just baiting the enemy team in, and that was just a very solid game all around. Very solid triple kill, and I was pretty happy with how that one turned out. All right, so in the second game, I'm against a Bard, Deathblade, and a War Dancer with a Paladin and Artillerist on my team. Having a Bard on the opposing team is extremely difficult because they just can kind of interrupt everything you are trying to do as a Gunlancer. They have a hard CC, a ranged hard CC, which means that even if you do catch someone, you're probably going to get stunned out of your surge cannon, so you're not going to be able to do that reliably. If they miss their stun, they're going to drop Rhapsody, which is like a 70 or 80% damage reduction on whoever is within the circle. So it's just a very difficult class for Gunlancer to play against. And most importantly, they have a hard CC immunity skill. So even if you do hook someone in, you're not going to be able to actually nail them down with a hook bash combo. So starting out, we already got the Blades Awakening skill out of the way, which is a pretty big threat to be off the table already. So immediately we have some pretty decent momentum considering the amount of tools that they've used. So I'm going to try to go and push off the Paladin from supporting her team and then immediately fall back to my team. This is actually a pretty bad Awakening skill, I would say, and my Paladin follows it up immediately after, which I don't agree with. That was not the best Awakening. If we can play that back, I think his line of thinking was, okay, I got a stun here. He's half health. If he awakens, he's going to do a chunk of damage. I'm going to be able to do a chunk of damage. So all things considered, we should be able to kill it. But the stun just doesn't last long enough. And then the War Dancer gets out, and now the momentum has shifted a little bit. We're in a little bit more of an advantage right now, but we aren't going to have the tools later on to really kind of keep up, considering they still have a War Dancer and Bard ultimate. The Bard ultimate specifically is a very defensive tool, and yeah, if we don't get momentum now, we're in trouble. And our comp in general isn't very good at getting momentum. We're more of a slow, sustained comp. But here I see that my artillerist is going to get comboed, so I drop my battlefield what is it called, the battlefield shield or something like that, and I land on top of the War Dancer as she's starting her tornado, which is a pretty nice save. And for anyone who doesn't know, as long as your allies are standing within this circle, any damage they would take gets redirected to you. So I can actually eat a pretty decent chunk of damage right now. So yeah, just a pretty solid tool. So at this point, I'm just really slow because of this stupid SoundCloud thing. And I'm just out of position here. I don't really have as much mobility because I used my shield charge to get out of the slow. But luckily, we were able to kind of catch up and save the fight a little bit. Oops, gotta get that out of the way. That's the War Dancer's ultimate down. It's now 1-1. We're at a pretty even state. I think the only thing left on the table is the Bard ultimate and the Artillerist ultimate at this point. The Bard's heal being down is something we have to be a little aware of and just try to force him out of it. Artillerist gets a really nice combo on the War Dancer to finish them off. And now we're just kind of are waiting for our cooldowns and just chilling. So any kind of slow that you receive as a Gunlancer just feels miserable. So I just try to avoid any kind of slow effect, because then you can't really navigate the battlefield, like this Bard SoundCloud thing. So yeah, at this point, I'm just trying to really stick to the our artillerist and just be a front line, just a wall that they have to go through if they want to hit the artillerist. But I get caught, and a nice tornado by the War Dancer means that they get a double kill out of it, and we are now losing a lot of that momentum that we had at the start. Trying to again peel for the artillerist, just throwing out the hook chains as the War Dancer retreats, maybe get a lucky catch. All right, so we're gonna try and protect our artillerist as he's using his turret mode. And here's the Bard ultimate. So at this point, we just have to back off because we're not gonna do any damage through those shields. Just try to peel as we regroup. And now that the artillerist is back, I can again start going on the aggressive, being a little bit more of that frontline tank, draw the attention of the Deathblade, which is something that I actively want to do, because I do think Gunlancer does pretty decently well into Deathblade. You have enough super armors to deal with their tankiness or their I'm actually not sure how this hits me. The first effect of the Bard's, what's this called? I can't remember. It clips me, but then the second half doesn't hit me, which is very confusing to me. Anyhow, it's besides the point. This Deathblade is very brave. We only have 10 seconds to go. She's only at half health, and yeah, she kind of went in and got caught. She was just dead. So she was not really, it's kind of brave of her to do that. So again, we only have 10 seconds. We're down 4-2, but they're all very low. We have the artillerist ult out on the table. And let's see what happens here. So I see that the Deathblade is to the south, and I'm hoping that the Paladin and the Artillerist can at least get one more kill, because a Deathblade at this point is within kill range for a single surge cannon. So I'm gonna jump towards her, try to bait out her any kind of super armor. One trick you can do as Gunlancer, if you think that the opponent is going to use their dash ability, is just throw an auto attack. They're probably sitting on their dash waiting for some kind of movement. So if you throw an auto attack, it kind of simulates like you're using an attack to force them to dodge, but he doesn't fall for it. Instead, when I auto attack, he goes for the stun. So we can play that back. He goes for the stun right here, but he misses it. And then immediately after, he dodges. So at this point, I throw out the chains, I get the catch, I stun him. And now from about, what is it? Like a third health, I charge up and I get the kill. But now it's 4-3. The Paladin gets a catch over here on the War Dancer, kills him. And at the same time, the Artillerist also finished off the Bard. So we got a 3-kill swing in like the last 10 seconds of the game to get the dub. This was such an adrenaline rush at the end. I had to take a little bit of a break just to kind of gather myself. But that was a really good game.